want to, and I'm happy the minister is here and Alfonso Grinnell, because I really want to state my sadness that our objective in TODS to keep fatal crashes under 400 has been nabbed by the ruthless outlawness on our nation's street. We are now, I think, it's 402, if I'm so correct. But we are not giving up. We have held 116 road safety events since the start of the year. And our 70-day road safety campaign to have under 400 in 2023 has been nabbed by ruthless drivers. I'm not going to say much more on this. I'll make a statement shortly, but I know the minister will agree with me that although we are on the last year's figure of 461 to date, it is still sad that so many people are dying on our roads. Finally, Minister, I must commend you for your work in the public transport sector since you took office earlier this year. With that, I must say thank you very much. Welcome, everybody, for being with us tonight, and please be attentive, listening ear to the minister and his presentation to us. Thank you very much, sir.
Reverend Aiken.
And thank you.
Reverend Aiken, if I may.
Go ahead, sir.
Just to let everyone know that we're live on the Mekwit Virus YouTube page and Facebook. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, and of course, if you are able to inform a friend right now of what you just heard from Sir Jeffrey, do that so we can have as many people on all the platforms that are streaming tonight's 100th program as possible. Minister Daryl Vaz is well known to Jamaica Land We Love, but I just want to say he is the Member of Parliament for West Portland, which happens to be the constituency in which I live. I will never forget when he became Minister of Transport. I do believe I see the name on the platform here who called me and said, Reverend, are your MP that? Tell about him. What you know about him? I said, all I can tell you is this, his mantra out here is man of action. So if you're not ready for action, we're not going to beg our next minister, because he'll hit the ground running and outrun you all. And so the minister did. As he hit the ground, he established a national steering committee that made headline news and a number of other issues. The one that the sector was crying for, a fair increase indeed, was negotiated. I won't steal any more of the minister's thunder, except to say that he is now known as, at least out of the blocks, the fastest moving and working transport minister that we have had to date. I think before that, Mr. President, Bobby Montague held that title, but I do believe that Minister Vaz of West Portland has taken that. Mr. Minister, could you unmute your mic, sir, and enter the platform officially? We will give you time, of course, to speak to us and then go right into a question and answer session, should you have the time to do so. Minister Daryl Vaz.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for the invitation. I do have two other functions that I'm juggling tonight, but I had to be here because, first of all, I want to congratulate TODS for their 100th weekly meeting. And to have 100 meetings obviously means that your endurance is there, because obviously when you start something, it starts very, very, very hot and everybody is engaged, and then as time goes by, people kind of get distracted and have other things to do. So the fact that you're here for the 100th is why I'm here, because I had to be here to say to you that 100% congratulations for your endurance and your commitment to the transport sector. You all know that I became minister in May 24th, 2023. And the first thing that I wanted to do is to bring everybody together and to structure a process that could have all voices heard, but in a defined manner. I think that before that, there were too many voices and, of course, too much different agendas without having a structure. And I believe that you get more results when you have a structure. And I can say that if I have achieved anything in the public transport sector, that is it. Everybody has a voice, but not necessarily all speaking at the same time. One of the first things was obviously the fare increase. And of course, any sector that is going to be successful has to be viable. And I believe that the viability of the transport sector was at risk based on the length of time that they were promised an increase and a full increase. We were able to negotiate and come up with something that would work for the transport operators and the government. And as, of course, you know, as has been widely spoken about, that fare increases in the transport sector has a very, very serious impact on inflation. And inflation is what ravages the ordinary Jamaican in terms of their earning ability and how that can put food on their table. You'd have heard exactly what happened with that, which, as I said, when I made the increase, announced the increase, that the government would have to find ways to cushion the inflationary impact. So we all know how that was done in relation to the subsidy and fare decrease on the JUTC. That is just straight economics. That's not anything other than how to balance the books and balance people's life. I want to say categorically that the response that I've gotten from the transportation sector has been overwhelming, because I have a very simple rule that you walk with kings, but never lose the common touch. My late father taught me that. And therefore, I'm always accessible, and I always listen to those who know the subject matter, because I do not and never believe that I am the end all of knowledge. I'm going through a learning curve. Transport is new to me, and it has all sorts of variables. It's obviously public transport, it's railway, it is JUTC, it is air, and it is sea. But I can tell you that our discussions have been fruitful and they are bearing fruit. I want to commit to PODs and all transport operators in the public transportation that this is a critical plank to prosperity. If you don't have a proper transportation system, then the country can go very, 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 very short term. Mr. Newman and the entire group, including the steering committee, I think that we have achieved a lot. We have a lot more to achieve, but it has to come with collaboration and consensus. And I want to say to all of you that that is my commitment. There will be no decisions made behind a desk or on recommendation from the technocrats. I will always have to get the feedback from the industry players, because at the end of the day, you are who know the business and know the issues of the business. You're the ones who have invested multi-millions of dollars. And what you want to make sure is that the policies of the government are there to make sure that your business is viable. It has not been that way. Let's make no bones about that. And my commitment to you is that there will be fair share and to make sure that we all have discussions before I put forward any policy recommendations to the cabinet or the transport authority. So I am here tonight to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, a safe and peaceful Christmas, and to say to you that I look forward to working with you, all stakeholders, not only TODs, everybody in 2024 to make sure that we can give and deliver a service that we can be proud of in the public transportation sector. That's my commitment, that's my word, and that's my honor. So again, I'm here tonight because of my respect for TODs and the work that they're doing, but not only that, to understand that everybody in the public transportation system plays a critical role. And if we work together, government and the stakeholders, we will be much better off in serving the public who deserves an orderly, disciplined, timely transport system. Those are my words to you in parting for 2023 and my message to you entering 2024. God bless you, and always my door is open and I will be accessible to take your recommendations, take your advice, because I do not profess to know all. And that's the difference between me as a minister who serves the public and listens to the public and listens to my stakeholders. God bless you all.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mr.
very
Minister. Thank you indeed for your opening remarks. And if you are able to stay with us, which we hope you can, we are going to invite a few persons to ask questions. I do see a hand already raised. Sir Alfonso Grenell, could you unmute your microphone, sir? I have already identified you, but for other persons, in case you're not named on my platform, the first thing you must do is identify who you are or who you represent, and then you ask the minister the question that you desire to do.
And make
What to
it very
ask,
brief.
sorry. Alfonso, go ahead, sir. Unmute your mic, my brother, and go ahead.
Good evening, everybody on the platform. Good evening, Minister Voss. Thank you very much for the greetings. And I want to wish you well as sir, as you go forward. I have a concern and a question. Of course, Alfonso Grenell is the name as mentioned. In the driver training sector. We were told that come January 2024, all driving instructor will have to be certified and driving school be registered. But it's now December 2023, and we have not received anything concrete as it relates to that. Will there be an extension of this so that the relevant individuals and organization can get themselves up to speed?
So what I'd ask you to do is send me a note in relation to what was the discussion before, where we're at, and I can tell you that if it is that we have not performed in relation to what we should have done to make it implementable for January, then I will definitely look at an extension. But I am not au fait with exactly where we are in terms of what was discussed. So I would ask you to send me something formally so I can check and respond to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Alfonso, for that question. Be mindful to respond as the minister has asked. Any other questions? You know, I'm looking for Sir Henry's James, or Madam Henry's James, I should say. Lady Henry's, if you're online, you know we have to hear from you, especially since the minister seems to be talking your language. A lot of what Mr. Vaz, of course, referenced in his opening remarks, Lady James would come on week after week, hoping for that kind of dialogue or recognition of the investment by the investors of the sector and the willingness to honor their investment and make them viable. Somebody call Henry's and tell her she's missing a program that she should be at. I see a hand there from none other than internationally renowned
No, just Jeffrey. Just
of
Jeffrey.
Make Talk. Go ahead, Sir Jeffrey.
No, they're international renowned something. Man. Just Jeffrey. Minister, good night to you again, sir. My question to you, sir, is why do we continue pumping billions of dollars in the state-owned company when it's losing money left, right, and center, sir? Don't you think that maybe what we should do is try and pump some of the billions of dollars in the local transport sector, in a sense of building a transport center for them? Because the old housing ministry in Halfway Tree is an eyesore in Halfway Tree, sir. And I personally think that maybe what the government should do is lick down that building, hit it down left, right, and center, and put a transport center there for the bus and taxi operators and for the commuters. That's my question to you, sir.
I did a tour there maybe 2 or 3 months ago when I went to the Halfway Tree bus center, and then I walked the entire Halfway Tree, and I realized that that is a very strategic point based on the fact that it's not being utilized at the moment, and obviously it is geographically perfectly located. That is a discussion that I'm having with the Ministry of Justice in relation to the possibilities for that location. But the bigger question that you're asking is a policy decision in relation to the JUTC. And the fact of the matter is that based on where we are now with that, it requires a review. And that review is being undertaken in conjunction with the Ministry of Finance. So again, it's early days as me as minister, but obviously coming from a business background, I'm looking at it holistically in relation to how we can improve and restructure the transport sector, public transportation sector in Jamaica.
Thank you, Minister. And before I let you go, Minister, when I was in Jamaica and when I was in Jamaica on Roots FM, I used to go on the air and literally cry out for help for the bus and taxi operators for that housing ministry to be used as a taxi stand. My other question to you, Minister, how is it that the government have a system where you pay your ticket, and when you pay the ticket, Minister, it comes back to the ticket hasn't been paid? When is the government gonna end up changing the system that when you pay your ticket, it is sure that you pay your ticket, it doesn't come back and say the ticket has been paid? I personally think, sir, and I hope you don't be offended in what I'm gonna say, sir, but I personally think that is extortion to the highest level, sir, when it comes on to the bus and taxi operators, sir.
Let me indicate that the system is not perfect, and it is being revised, because the fact of the matter is that for whatever reason, there has been many gaps that we need to close to make sure we have an efficient ticketing system. And the fact is, too many people have been allowed to get away with having multiple tickets, hundreds of tickets, right? With no government oversight in relation to making sure that they are held accountable for their actions. So that is a process that I inherited. I'm dealing with it, and in short, you'll hear exactly what the amendments are in relation to that.
Thank you, Minister.
And thank you, Sir Jeffrey, for your questions.
All right, then we have to leave you
you-
now because I'm half an hour over my engagement, but I had to be here. Feel
All
free
right,
to
Mr.
WhatsApp
Minister.
me.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody knows my number. And we
I
don't
don't know
need to
your
have
number,
a
Minister.
three.
Well, for those who don't,
4112.
we
We
will
don't
put
have
it
to.
in the chat room tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And guess what?
Yeah.
You send me all your suggestions and they'll be taken on board because I'm a minister that believes that input from the sector that I represent as minister is important, and I have an open door and I have an open line policy. Anything that you send me, you'll get a response. Your
Mr.
suggestions,
Minister,
your recommendations.
Mr. Minister, 1 minute before you leave. We have a very burning issue. Why the
Identify
record
yourself, sir. Identify who you are and ask
I'm
the minister a question.
I'm Steve Hessing. Why the record company charging us 200 and 300% more than what the transport authority give us what we supposed to pay? And the second question, why red plate everything when a police or the transport authority stop a red plate vehicle? The first thing them do is to call a record and put us on the record.
So there's a new record policy that is coming out, and the chairman of the Transport Authority, Owen Ellington, is fully aware of the issues that were brought up at the steering committee, and changes are being made in relation to how what you mentioned is going to be handled in terms of seizure and in terms of who are the authorized record services, and the rates will be stipulated because that has been a sore point in relation to the transport operators and the authority. So you will hear about that, and you have a steering committee now, so the steering committee members can brief you in relation to what the decisions are in relation to that. But I know that that is a matter that has been discussed, and that there are new policies that are in place or about to be in place in relation to that. And I understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay, Minister.
There you have it. Thank you, Steve, for your question, and thank you, Minister Daryl Vaz, for allowing us to engage with you, if even just for a few minutes tonight. Thank you, sir, indeed. And of course, we know you have a few other meetings.
I ask everybody to have a
go
safe and peaceful Christmas. And of course, we are hoping and praying that the road fatalities will be under last year, but where they are now is still unacceptable, unacceptable level.
Indeed.
God bless
Yes,
you.
Minister,
Minister, remember, leave my
Minister-
Christmas cake at the office, sir.
Minister, don't be a stranger to the Make We Talk program, no, you know, sir.
Anytime, anywhere.
All
Just
right,
let
sir,
me know.
thank you.
All right. Once again, thank you very much, Minister Vaz. And there you have it. If you're just joining us, we heard from the Minister of Transport, none other than Mr. Daryl Vaz, the Honorable Daryl Vaz, MP4, West Portland. That's my constituency indeed. Man of action, he's known of in our constituency. And of course, he has hit the ground running in that regard in his ministerial responsibility. So thank you once again, sir. Now, of course, Minister is gone, but Mr. President, I would suggest, just in case your Gensec or Deputy Gensec is on, I know Minister loves when you send him things, you know that. So if there are any other concerns that we have, then let's just jot it down in the chat room and then of course send it off to minister at another occasion. But for a minute I thought Steve Hessing, who is usually a fast bowler on a Wednesday night to anybody on the hot seat, I thought he was injured and not on the pitch at all. But he came in at the last minute, bowling as usual, a ball which minister, of course, played a good forward defensive stroke.
No,
Go ahead,
man.
Mr. President. You look like you have something to say.
Minister,
Yes.
Minister, 1 second, Mr. President. The minister retire her quick, man.
Yes, he did tell us, Jeffrey, that he could only
Let
spend
me
half an
minister
hour
alone. I'll leave my
because he
minister.
had two
In a
other
retire her.
engagements
Him gone in for tea
participate
time.
in.
Tea time, him gone.
But I personally think, hold on, Sir Newman, so to continue. I personally think, thank him for coming on, yes. But I think the minister should set aside a time.
Losing your Jeffrey, say it again.
I said, thank you all for coming on. Thank the minister for coming on. But I personally think that the minister should set aside a date and a time when he can come on fully and accept questions from the public transport sector, both telephone and people on the platform.
Yes. You're right, Jeffrey. And we just have to ask for it. The minister is willing to do so. A matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, in a meeting here on a Wednesday night, somebody asked and the minister, come on. I think it was you, Jeffrey. And here we have the minister on tonight. It says that what we ask the minister for within his power and asking for it, he will provide it. And I'm sure for next year we could ask him to come on at least once every other month to share with us. So that's not a problem. And I'm going to ask you to ask a question still, because tomorrow morning the National Steering Committee will be meeting. We're making note of the questions and we'll submit these questions to the steering committee, to which he will be in attendance. As also the National Road Safety Committee meets tomorrow. And if you have any question for them, please note it, put it in the chat room, and we'll have it ready for that meeting. But please, let's have the next half an hour, a lively discussion on the issues at hand. Thank you.
Mr. President, I want
Yes.
to add to Jeffrey's request by suggesting that if we get minister on for a full 2 hours or more, that we also try to get beside him the head of the transport authority and the head of traffic, because sometimes we will bowl balls at the minister that really it is not his purview to bat them, And of course, he's a sensible minister who will tell you that he'll get to the root of the issue. But some of these concerns that I have heard over the 100 sittings of TODS need to be answered by the head of traffic, need to be answered by the head of traffic of transport authority, need to be answered by the head of ITA, because some of those issues are not the purview of the minister. It's the purview of some people, some civil servants who are not doing their jobs properly, it would seem, and they need to be held accountable. And we can't I'm not defending the minister because I'm an MP, but we can't throw everything in his lap when we have some civil servants that need to be the ones who answer and promise you and all of us that it's going to be attended to. Although we do know the power of the minister. If you remember, we sat in a meeting with Minister Shaw, and when somebody asked him how in the world they must remove the bus stop them from Constant Spring Road and not put them back, but ticket transport operators for not using the bus stops, not using what is not there. And Minister Shaw promised to get it done. It wasn't done, but the minister asked, come get it done now. So
Yes,
of course, if we
you're
can
right.
get them all in the same room.
You're right.
And I think, Sir Newman, I personally think that I'm not taking over you all program, but I personally think that if we can get minister on with, as what Mr. Aiken said, just have a forum with them on, and then we have people call in and ask their questions. Are you on the program? Mr. Newman, go ahead.
Nothing is impossible, Jeffrey. I'm saying once we say it here, consider it done. And so you know that last week we had the head of the ITA, and the week where we had a meet internal face-to-face with the managing director of Transport Authority. And this week we have a meet with the minister. The only person who is shy on coming to us is the head of traffic. I don't know what's going on with him over the past several months, but he's afraid to speak to us face to face. But we will try and get him to start us off in 2024. I'm sure he has to make it, else we're going to go public that he's shying from us. So put the issues there on the table. We are going to, this committee that in charge of the weekly Wednesday Zoom, our communication team headed by Rev Aiken will ensure that your requests on this program is attended to. I really want to thank Mr. Grinnell for being with us, because Mr. Grinnell has a series of programs going on across Jamaica, as we do in TODS also. And we have been a partner with him. I see his hands up, so he's going to talk to us shortly. But I only want to thank him for his program. It's a good program, and we all in the public transport sector need to know about what do you call it again? Come on, Mr. Grinnell.
Defensive driving.
Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
May I ask him a question, sir? Mr. Grinnell, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Sir Grinnell, is your defensive driving school, is it only
for
transport operators, or can any private person access it?
Anybody can access it. It's opened. A matter of fact, Mr. Egeton Newman will tell you that I tried to do a series for public passenger drivers and operators, where we actually did it free for them, where we provide the lunch and the break, we provide gas vouchers, and it was poorly attended. You feel that?
Wow.
You feel that public passenger operators are the best drivers ever, because they did not access the opportunity for the training. However, that
can't you throw that out to the wider public, sir?
Yeah, man, we have the last series we had for 2023 is for the general public.
What's the cost? I have some people listening right now who I know would want to avail themselves of that. Of course, I am not disparaging our ladies, but Sir Grinnell, I think you should particularly go after our ladies, especially those who have to drive through the junction and other dangerous roads. I know a few that you could sign up from Portland, because they would be more than willing to take defensive driving classes because of the driving that goes on in the junction road. So I would suggest, can you throw it out to the wider public, sir?
But
I can testify. Yeah. I can testify to that. I am a member of Mr. Grinnell. I get a survey ticket from Mr. Grinnell. I get cash voucher, and I get some nice lunch.
You talk for the lunch.
All right, Steve. All right.
Is that Hessing?
Yes, man.
Thank you for that voucher promotion almost, and I really appreciate it. You see, unless some of us have done the program, we will not be able to speak categorically of the benefit. And what sometimes is necessary is those of us who are owners of public passenger vehicles, even if our drivers don't want to attend, we should attend and at least see what is up for offer, and therefore we can see whether or not we need to, pull our drivers to attend this. The thing is, what we have seen, we used to have, I don't know, you're probably not aware of this, but our tanker drivers used to have a lot of crashes. And after doing the program, it's about 11 years now, and only one minor incident from all of those persons who have been trained in defensive driving. We have a course called defensive driving for the professional truck driver. Plus, we have other programs. This is, of course, I don't come on this program to promote my defensive driving program.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I really do think it's important that the image that is out there of public passenger drivers. We have to work on it and see if we can change it. Because I've seen a lot of public passenger drivers who drive well, but it seems like the ones who are not driving so well are the one we remember. And whatever can be done to change that image. I was in Montego Bay just recently doing some training for Kiyuki Transport. They have some coach buses. And the reason why they were doing the training is so that they could now tell the hotels and the people they transport people for that all of their drivers have been trained in defensive driving. And I don't know, as I said, for the workshops, all of the participants will get a defensive driving certificate. But I can tell you the least attending group is public passenger drivers. I don't know why apparently they're saying the owners are demanding that they want their pound of the flesh that day, so they can't allow them to come on the team. And it's an investment,
Sir Grinnell,
yeah.
another suggestion, sir. Could you take your defensive driving program to companies like Tankwell? Ask for Arnold Aiken or Louis Aiken. They're directors at Tankwell. Hampton, my cousins, they send trucks all over the island, as you know. And I have had to call my own cousins a couple of times going, your truck just passed me at a speed and driving in a manner that is absolutely unsafe. Could you please check your logbook and see who is driving in the junction at this time and reprimand them severely? Now I tell you that long story because I've seen a number of company vehicles where I think to myself, man, they could benefit from defensive driving, So I don't know if you have pursued that aspect.
Do you have a number
getting to these major companies?
Do you have a number that you could send to me for the cousin that I could engage?
Yes, indeed, I do. And another company is ARC. I don't know if you know that. I think it's an electrical hardware company.
Yeah.
Not a group of dangerous drivers that I've reported a number of times.
So Aiken.
Tankwell and ARC.
Yeah. So Aiken,
get to them with your program, sir. Your drivers need it.
Thanks.
Sorry to be butting in.
I'll send you my cousin's number.
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Again.
Sorry, I do apologize to be butting in, but I just want to say that the defensive driving, I think, should go right across Jamaica, and not only for one area only. And in the same breath, I want to say good night to former Minister of Transportation, Robert Bobby Montic, who is watching us on YouTube.
All right, good night, Bobby. He has been a man out there. I just want to say to Grinnell that if you notice the attendance on the program tonight and the few operators that are on the program, tells you that the interest in these things for them is way below par. It's unfortunate that we have the minister tonight and only a handful of transport operators are with us. And I want to thank the president. I see Conrado from Trelawney. A couple of presidents are here, but it's unfortunate. It tells me that what we're doing maybe make no sense. All the taximen and busmen want maybe the police off the back, fare increase, and maybe the wreckers off the back. That's what I'm gathering from the 118 activities we have this year, including our 100, over the past years, 100 staging of this activity. It's unfortunate, but that's my point. Hard to get taxi and busmen involved in activities like these. Worse, Grinnell's defensive driving program and our road safety workshops that we've been having all the time.
Sir Grinnell, sorry, Mr. Newman. Sir Grinnell. Sir Grinnell gone?
No, go ahead. Just ask a question. He'll answer. Go ahead.
When you're going to have a next workshop in the carpet era?
The next one is set for the 26th of January.
What?
At Jamaica Pegasus. It's actually we're doing a new theme. Our theme for 2024 is Crash No More. 2024.
Someone can get a free ticket, boss.
You want another free ticket?
Yes, man.
You love freeness, you know, you ever see that?
Call me if you bring 5 of your friends, you get a ticket free.
Oh, me must get it, man. Me must get it because you know me always work with you, boss.
Not seriously, and I'm serious. If you bring 5 people, you get a ticket free. A matter of fact, we are open to get even more sponsor from gas stations, you know, so we can give out some real good vouchers.
You know me always depend the sales rep for your boss. So
all right, man. Thanks.
Yes, man.
And I'm
Mr.
sure
Newman,
hold on there, Steve. I'm sure if I said to Sir Grinnell, if I bring 25 persons, he will give me 5 free tickets. So, but we won't talk about that yet until close to the time. But I think that all public transport operators should make themselves available for these workshops put on by Grinnell Driving. I attended. I don't get my certificate yet, but I get a good lunch. And if my head hurt me, I'll go into the next one. Although I don't drive, you know, because I think it's important that all of us.
I was going to answer the question if you drive.
Don't worry yourself. I'm a we call it co-pilot. You know, I press gas all the time. I press brake all the time when I'm in the vehicle. So don't worry yourself. So please attend these courses. Come next year, we will be side by side with Grinnell to ensure that operators, parish by parish, especially Portland, we're coming to Portland, and I'm going to be a major player in when Grinnell organizes one for Port Antonio. Thank you very much. Any more questions?
Yes, sir, Newman. One last question. Tonight is the 100 meeting we have. And like me is the person who accompany most I meeting them. You don't believe you're supposed to get something, Mr. Newman?
You know, my bag is in the car, and I have something for somebody. No. Wait, it's in a pocket here. Come for it. Find me tomorrow. I'm going to take it out. You can see me?
Yes,
all right. This is yours. Find me tomorrow.
We're not seeing it.
You see
What is that?
Yes, man. Yes. Yes, for you. Come for me tomorrow. Me say, come for it tomorrow. That's yours.
Because, Mr. Newman,
yes.
You know that I'm a person who I supposed to come to about 80 or 90 and meeting them.
You're correct. So you're correct.
It just justify for me to get like a 20,000 voucher. Oh, my son. Jeffrey.
You're perfectly right. You know we don't have it, but
I agree with you. I agree with you.
All right. Take a last question, host and co-host of this program. Very lively program. Happy to have the minister with us. And,
Mr. Newman, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Conrad.
Hold on, before you ask the question, introduce yourself because I'm coming to drink red wine with you on Tuesday. So introduce yourself, sir.
I am Conrad Malcolm, representing the people of Falmouth Taxi Association. I'm part of the leadership.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. And,
good.
Yes. The question that I have here, there was a line item in TOT's program with the training, first responders training that was being led by Williams.
Yes.
The government had proposed similar training, which we haven't heard anything about. So they said there's a meeting tomorrow with the Steerco.
Yes.
That question I would like to be able to find out where we are as public transport operators who was promised that training. Since TODS has actually shelved it because it bears resemblance of what the government proposed to be free. We didn't have the money.
Yes.
So where we are with that, we would like an update on it.
Thank you very much. And you will have an answer by tomorrow afternoon because the steering committee will be discussing that. As a matter of fact, the plans are in train already for it to start come January. And I spoke to the head of the Transport Authority and chairman of the steering committee last Tuesday, I think it was, and he assured me that yes, things are in place. They're trying to find some more money to put into it so it can start in January coming. But discussion will be held tomorrow. But let me tell you where I stand. And I want everybody to understand me clearly. I believe the training should be compulsory Nobody should get on $25,000 to attend the training. And I think persons, if they don't do the training within 2 years, I think they should their road license should not be renewed at the transport authority with them as a driver or owner. I think so. I might be wrong, but I think you cannot be. Nobody should be paying you to do a training. You should make it a point of duty to be trained, and that's why Grinnell is saying what he's saying now, right? Transport people not taking it up. We must do the training, and if we don't do it, we should not be able to renew our license, or we should not be paid to be trained. That is my 2 cents.
It should not be operators because a high percentage of the operators are not the owners. So the road license, don't belong to them.
But their name comes on the renewal of the owner's license as a driver. So that driver.
No, I know. Huh? Their name not on it.
But the regulation is there that they should be, their name should be on it. If you are going to, not the license, it's not on the license. But when you go to renew the document, you have to put the driver's name.
Yes, you have to name a driver.
Therefore, if the driver don't do the training, that driver name should be taken off the documentation. I said it to the minister, to the Transport Authority. I've put in that document to the minister already, and I'm looking forward to have further hot discussion on the subject.
Mr. Newman.
Yes, Steve.
If something like that happens, we're going to have very short drivers. Remember that a lot of drivers, them see this thing as a hustle mentality. And a lot of owners who trust car, the bank and all these players going to take back them vehicle.
Yes, sir. So what you must do then? Have some people who can drive.
80% of the owners is not a driver. 80%. And if 80% in a sector, if the owners them not going to be there, it means that they're going to leave the drivers out the door. Owners not going to have no drivers because say we live in Jamaica and a man just take a vehicle 2 days and him drive it and the 3rd day him leave it. You understand?
But you're not agreeing, Steve, that we must remain in this hanky-panky transport sector because if the drivers are out, owners are going to have no driver. It cannot work that way. We have to find drivers. We have private sector business. We have to find the driver and find good driver and have them trained.
But yes, Mr. Newman, we can't just take it as a rush or a big hammer. What we can come up with to say, okay, let us find some training. Even when the government says, I'm going to pay a lot of people for the sector. Yes, we don't agree. But that will give them an incentive where a man say, okay, I can try to come. You understand? It's $25,000. It encourages people to say, okay, you're going to take 2 days off the road. That 2 day money, you can find $25,000.
I don't want to take over the program, but co-chairs understand what I'm saying. If you're a Juta driver, before you even think of going to the Juta business, you get your training. It costs a bag of money to be trained. All right? $20,000 to $30,000 to be trained. I am saying that Juta is no different from the private sector, transport operators. If you go into what a big company in New Kingston name, you have 6 weeks training, right? So why is it we must just pick up some man, show them run up one steering wheel and say, do a thing for me, I collect and bring me 4,000 or 5,000 or 20,000 I come give me a daytime. It cannot continue this way. We got about transforming the sector. We got about meet the objective of 2030 vision. We have to change the way we do business. And this is one thing, Steve, people might be against me for. I believe in training. You know, from the first day I start NATO, this training. You know that, right? Until today, we must have the requisite training if you're going to carry people, multiple people. Too much accident, although we don't get involved in many accidents, but we fender bender every day. Steve, you see it on the platform. But defensive drive training is key. How to talk to people, how to dress properly. Those are things that, listen, man, people must learn.
I agree with the training. I agree 100% with the training. And You know me as the type of person who loves the training. And it's why I was the only person, I'm the only person in a transportation sector get 2 surfing tickets from Grinnell. 2.
That is true.
Right?
That is
I'm the only person. I believe in it. But this hard approach thing, we have to be careful. People must train. Because as we talk about city to city here, the bus will run from town, go all over. Them give people 6-week training, but if them give them a stipend, them get a stipend. So if the government willing to give us a stipend to go on the training, that is very good. You understand? Person like me now going to leave St. Catherine and go town for training, and I need some gas in the vehicle, and I am not working. That 25,000 I can cushion the gas so I can go even 3-4 days. You understand? I do understand that people must train to do a thing, but if the government willing to give us a stipend, that is very good, Mr. Newman. That is very, very good. You understand? When I go to Grinnell driving school and Grinnell give me a 2,000 or a 5,000 cash voucher, that cushion my gas. So if Grinnell have somewhere a training school anywhere and invite me, I know I'm going to get a gas voucher, I will be there willing because I know I get lunch and get gas. So we have to think about that, sir, Newman.
Can I say something here?
All right, thank you. Yes, Conrad, and go ahead.
The training, how many days this training will take?
For Sir Grinnell, training is 1 day.
No, not Sir Grinnell.
4 days. 4 days.
4 days. All right. What I'm getting from the discussion is that for too long we see the transport sector as a little papa thing, where if we are to improve our standard, if we are to improve our skills, somebody have to hold our hands. We can't find this and we can't find that. If you are employed in any sector, even if you haven't worked in a while, you have to find a way to work. There are things that you have to do. You have to find clothes before you get uniform. So for us to transform the transport sector into what we want it to be, or to even be a resemblance of professionalism, there are things that we have to put in place. Training is one, and the uniform, the attire. I think the Transport Authority is a little too relaxed on the attire of the operators. When you go through the various parks and see how these persons present themselves for work, left much to be desired, and the Transport Authority need to step up that and ensure that persons wear their uniform and put themselves together, because it seems like the transport sector just accommodates only to loose people and arguments. Just come as you are, behave how you want to behave, just carry on. It can't continue like that. We have to transform the sector and let the sector be respected. It's full time we stop behaving as if this sector need all kind of pity. I don't think so.
Well said, Conrad. Well said indeed. I see another hand, Sir President. Alfonso, did you not take your hand down, or is it put back up?
Yes, sir.
I put it back up. I just wanted to find out if the taxi association, like TADS, is a member of the National Road Safety Council.
Yes, sir, very much so. And there's a meeting tomorrow. The next monthly meeting is tomorrow at 10. Yes, I've been in attendance.
Great. I just wanted to find out. Good.
Yes,
so definitely, that's where you can make an impact on the industry itself.
Sure, sir. Any more questions? Jeffrey, gone silent there.
No, I'm here listening to you guys. Great. It is a good interested discussion, and yes, I think more need to be done. More need to be done when it comes on to the driving of our bus and taxi operators. And not only them, you have normal Jamaican citizens who can't even drive, they can't even reverse properly. But of course, you know, I hope that the gentleman who has the defensive driving school would start advertising the radio. You can go on Roots FM, because Roots FM is the station that started the Make We Talk transport from day one. So, you know, I think you should go on Roots FM and, you know, advertise, or one Tuesday you come on the program that what I'm on and you talk some more about the defensive driving situation. And Mr. Grinnell?
I'll be delighted to, because honestly, a lot of people don't realize the stats that is there. Approximately 90% of crashes is caused from the driver.
Yes.
So if we fix the driver, it means that we basically could reduce crashes and road fatalities by approximately 90%. But not until we all recognize that that's where the main problem is. The main problem is not the vehicle, it's not the driving environment, but the man behind the steering wheel. And we need to teach him how to manage his emotion, manage his mental state. Because it's not just about the physical, you know. You know, how do you deal with a conflict? How do you deal with another driver who bad drive you? Do you lose your cool and driving down? Or do you say, the further he is from me, the safer I shall be? All of those things you have to look at. You know, anger management, resolution, all in the steering wheel. Go ahead,
May
sir.
I ask another question, Sir Grinnell?
Go ahead.
Yes. You at your driving course, the defensive driving course, is there an aspect that looks at the Road Traffic Act and what we call the Red Book? You know, all of us we're supposed to study that Red Book and then take an exam. But you may or may not be aware that one of our public affairs committees of some time ago discovered that 8 out of 10 Jamaican drivers never read the Red Book and took a driving exam. They purchased their license illegally. I know that I'm probably speaking to people who did that, and I mean no offense. But what I do mean to say is that, Sir Grinnell, your company, your organization is so needed. Maybe you don't even know how much. Because somebody needs to,
no, sir, I know,
realign that 8 out of 10, those 8 out of 10 persons, you know.
I have been on courses.
Can you imagine if it was revealed to us that 8 out of 10 doctors did not sit medical exams or even study their medical book?
You're talking my language, sir.
We would have to take action right away.
You're talking my language.
So
and this is why
you have that side to your. Go ahead.
No, man, we do. Matter of fact,
excellent.
Because people have the license already, so we don't necessarily embarrass people. What we try and do is to bring them up to speed because they're out there already. And since you have to interface with them, I have to, or she, we have to make sure we give them the tools from that time forward as they go forward. So they're better informed so that they can be safer and therefore make everybody else on the road safer. Because
when you say
some people don't even
when you say you bring them up to speed, you mean figuratively, I hope.
Repeat that.
When you say that you bring them up to speed, I hope you're speaking metaphorically or figuratively, sir.
There's nothing wrong with speed, you know.
Oh, yes. Steve told me that one day, you know.
You say especially because we're not going fast. If they come at my speed, they're good to go.
Good to go, indeed.
All right.
I tell you. Well, we wish you all the best, indeed.
No, man, thanks. And I think if things can change, we just have to work together, you know, and make things happen in the country if we're really concerned.
Just before you close, Mr. Chairman, just one announcement I want to make. We are closing down our activities as of this weekend. I think the last activity we have is going over to Trelawney next Tuesday, just to see what they are doing in the association. But this Friday, we'll be in Portmore giving away to our flagship program for the latter part of this year, our 70-day road safety campaign. We have what is called Spot the Good Driver Awards. We have been doing a fantastic job with that over the past several weeks, and we have another one coming up too on Friday in Linstead and as well as in Portmore, the Portmore Mall at 11 a.m. A number of people getting money to go and open bank accounts, gas vouchers, and other things. So we ask you to join us, put more mall in the vicinity of the VMBS up branch, and come and share with us. Even if you don't want anything, just come and see what we're doing as an organization. And then we'll leave for 2 o'clock and go to Lindsay Transport Center. We'll be having a hurrah activity there in the center. One it's 2 days, but we'll be there on Friday because on Saturday we go down to Magatin, St. Elizabeth to spot a couple of good drivers.
Mr.
So those are the
Newman,
activities
you're campaigning hard, man.
Yes, I think we have to do that because it's important when we campaign to better the public transport sector.
Excellent, Sir President. And is Dancehall Carleen still
Absolutely
making the trips with
thank
you, spotting the good driver?
Thank you, my
I'm
brother.
asking for Jeffrey.
Yes, Jeffrey. Currently, the former dancehall queen is on all our campaign. And a matter of fact, we have appointed a couple of persons. Head of 876 on the go is our national or Caribbean ambassador, and we have entertainer. We're going to ask to sit on Jeffrey's program 1 week. Tony Ray, entertainer in the United States, who's also our international advisor on road safety. So we're doing a good job. We just want your support as we go along.
But Mr. Newman, I have asked you to get that lovely lady to come on my program, you know.
I thought you sent her a note. I thought you want her on next week?
I wouldn't mind because what happened? A lot of people don't know. I don't know if Carly even remember. When Carly was dancehall, after she came to my parents' supermarket in the grill, and I took a picture with her. And I think that picture is still in the grill at my grandmother's house.
I'm gonna try to get her for you because you know this coming up to carnival time.
Jeffrey, don't say much more, Jeffrey. Don't let them know much more.
Yes. Is that picture alone?
Nothing like that, Jeffrey. Why you telling?
Okay,
Jeffrey.
I reckon he's gone. So
Nothing like that. Nothing like that, Jeffrey.
All right. Mr. Chairman, could you, before we get out of order on the program, you could do the closing remarks.
So yes, indeed. After having Jeffrey get out of order, we are now going to the benediction, my brother.
Yes.
All right. Oh, thank you for a wonderful night. I do believe it was a night well spent. Sir Jeffrey, of course, thank you for getting back to the production of this program.
Yes,
and
sir.
Of course,
welcome back, Jeffrey.
No, you have to pay me because I'm me beg Jeffrey. Last week when me said we want the minister to come on, me beg Jeffrey.
Steve, you don't consider
sir.
my niece enough pay already, sir?
No, little more cash here.
All right, let's end the evening as we usually do with the benediction that we have embraced as our own. It's taken from Psalm 121, and it declares this to any who would believe it and receive it. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. If you receive that, if you believe it, say amen and walk good.
Amen.
Thank you all very much. I want to say thanks. Hold on for me, Mr.
Lloyd Nelson.
Hold on for me. I want to say thanks to all our viewers on YouTube, all 100 and something people on YouTube. Thanks to Owen Brown, who is on YouTube, giving us his input, and also he's still the producer. He's still the producer of the Make We Talk program. Thanks to Owen Brown. Thanks to my listeners and viewers. Thanks to Yo-Yo, who is on YouTube, who is always having people on YouTube cracking up, and even myself. Yo-Yo, Honey Pop, thank you very much for coming on. Thanks to everyone who comes on the YouTube channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Mr. Newman and the TADS group, thank you very much for coming on, sir.
Thank you very much for having us, Jeffrey.
And God bless you, Jeffrey.
Thank you. All the best. Until you hear us again, may God bless and keep you. And may God bless Jamaica land we love. Have a good night, everyone.
Amen.